This is DJ Time Machine. What if Nolbu had also received a gourd filled with treasure? Hungbu and Nolbu. Once upon a time, in a quiet village, surrounded by green mountains and wide fields, there lived two brothers. The older brother's name was Nolbu, and the younger brother's name was Hyungbu. Though they grew up under the same parents, their hearts were very different from each other. Nolbu was wealthy, but his greed knew no end. He was so stingy that whenever a neighbor came asking for help, he would lock his doors and turn them away. Hyungbu, on the other hand, had very little to his name, yet he never lost his warm smile. He shared what little food he had with hungry neighbors and lived kindly. People in the village often said, "Nolbu may have plenty of money, but his heart is small. Hyungbu may have nothing, but his heart is wide and full." One warm spring day, Hyungbu found a little bird in the yard of his humble thatched house. It was a swallow, fluttering its wings and crying in pain. When he looked closer, he saw that its leg was broken. Feeling sorry for the poor bird, Hyungbu gently took a piece of bamboo and some cloth and carefully fixed the swallow's injured leg. He brought it inside his house and fed it millet and water every day. Thanks to Hyungbu's loving care, the swallow slowly regained its strength. One morning, the swallow flapped its wings bravely and soared up into the sky. Hyungbu watched as it disappeared into the distance, quietly wishing for its health and happiness. Time passed and autumn came. The sky grew high and the wind turned cool. One day, a swallow landed on the eaves of Hyungbu's house. It was the very same swallow he had saved in the spring. The bird opened its small beak and dropped something. It was a shining gourd seed. Filled with surprise and gratitude, Hyungbu carefully planted the seed in a corner of his yard. Throughout the summer, the gourd vines soaked in sunlight and rain. By autumn, large plump gourds hung in clusters. They were so big that Hyungbu couldn't even hold one with both hands. Hyungbu took a knife and split one of the gourds open. At that very moment, a dazzling light shone out, and gold, silver, grains, and warm clothes poured forth. In an instant, Hyungbu's family rose from poverty to abundance. When Nolbu heard that his brother had become rich after helping a swallow, his heart filled with envy and jealousy. He thought, "If I do the same, I'll become rich too." So, hiding his greed behind a false smile, he caught a swallow and deliberately broke its leg. Then, pretending to be kind, he wrapped the leg with cloth and set it free, hoping the swallow would return with a gourd seed for him as well. To his surprise, the swallow also brought him a seed. Nolbu planted it eagerly, and when he split the gourd open, it was filled with treasure, gold and silver shining brightly. The villagers were astonished. Nolbu's house glittered like the sun. But instead of being grateful, Nolbu grew greedier. He claimed the village well as his own, took his neighbor's land, and demanded payment from anyone who used his water. He turned away from the hungry and poor. One by one, the villagers turned their backs on him. When trouble came, no one came to help. Unhappiness crept in quietly. His wife, exhausted from guarding their riches, fell ill and couldn't rise from bed. His children grew up lonely, without friends or laughter. Though their house overflowed with gold, their hearts were empty and cold. One night, thieves broke in and stole the treasure. No one in the village came to help. The people who once would have rushed to his side now pretended not to see. Nolbu himself grew weak and sick, still clinging desperately to what remained. The house shone with gold, but laughter had long vanished. The riches he once worshipped could no longer protect him. His greed had brought loneliness and sorrow, even to his family. Meanwhile, Hungbu's house overflowed with warmth and laughter. People came and went joyfully, sharing food, stories, and kindness. The love and generosity Hungbu once gave had returned to him as true happiness. This story reminds us, money cannot protect the heart. Greed only leads to loneliness and loss. But kindness and sharing create the richest life of all. That's all for today's story. You've been listening to DJ Time Machine. See you next time.